Well, this morning we have a keynote address, and it's being sponsored by the Sandusky County CVB. Sandusky County is located in Northwest Ohio, and it's one of the best kept tourism secrets in that area. So today we're happy to have Brenda Havens, Sales and Promotion Specialist for the Sandusky County CVB, who will share some of those secrets with us. Brenda? Peggy, you'll be joining her too. Great. Please help me welcome Brenda and Peggy.
Thank you so much. Good morning. I'm Peggy Courtney, and I'm the Executive Director of the Sandusky County CVB, and this is Brenda Havens. She is our sales specialist. I'm not going to bore you by talking up here. We've got a video that is going to tell you our story, so I just ask you to pay attention for a few minutes, please.
Thank you for tuning in to the Sandusky County, Ohio Tourism Showcase. Over the next few minutes, you will see how Sandusky County could be just what you're looking for to make your bus tours more fun, more memorable, and more convenient. We've all heard the phrase location, location, location. Now it's time for you as an operator to use our location to build the success of your bus tourism business. While there is certainly enough to do in Northern Ohio and the Lake Erie region to make it a destination market, we also realize that we are competing with other destination markets and want to offer a fun and convenient stop on your itinerary along the way to your destination. Now back to that location thing. According to the Ohio Turnpike Commission, a total of 54.9 million vehicles traveled the Ohio Turnpike in 2016. Sandusky County is located just off the Ohio Turnpike at exit 91 and is nearly the center of this stretch of interstate cutting across northern Ohio, putting us in a safe, rural community between Toledo and Cleveland. Our mid-northern Ohio location also happens to be a convenient midpoint between Milwaukee and Chicago, located to the west, and Niagara Falls, New York, Washington, D.C., and Boston to the east, just to name a few. That is why we have named Sandusky County the sweet spot of Ohio, because of our central, convenient location close to it all. Now that we've covered the location, let's discuss what we have to offer. Brenda Havens, the Travel and Promotion Specialist at the Sandusky County CVB, wants to make your stop in Sandusky County just as exciting as where you've been or where you're going. With our rural location, agriculture is one of our top industries. Take a break from the hustle and bustle and take in some clean country air while you enjoy lunch or dinner at our farm-to-table experience. Enjoy a meal prepared from locally grown and sourced foods, then meet the farmer for a short tour of his farm and market. Often combined with this experience is our King Dairy Farm tour. This is one of a handful of completely automated dairy farms that uses the latest in robotic technology to milk hundreds of dairy cows daily. The tour includes an ice cream treat made at Toft's Dairy with this locally sourced milk. Another experience that has been a favorite to bus travelers for over a decade now is our Jaws with Paws experience. Make a stop at Linwood Kennels in Fremont, where canine trainer Brian Woods demonstrates the amazing capabilities of these highly skilled dogs that he trains for military and law enforcement agencies nationwide. Perhaps an immersive dinner theater would be a fun option to add to your lineup of experiences. We have our newest experience that is quickly becoming a crowd favorite, a night at the Tony Liu Awards, a murder mystery dinner. Step onto the red carpet and see if you can figure out who is guilty of murder in this award show setting that is our version of the Emmys. Plenty of laughs are in store for your group as we draw in the crowd with actors placed at tables with your guests to make this one unforgettable night of fun. Another theater option is our Magic Dinner Theater. Join us for lunch or dinner, followed by the magic of Andrew Martin.
All right, long piece of rope, medium size, and a short piece of rope. Now, like I said, I want you to remember the sizes of the ropes, because this is going to make you wonder what's on TV right now. Here, I'll say the magic words that I learned from my grandfather many, many years ago. Jima pivo whoopee, and look. Look at that, they're all the same size.
Andrew has a hilarious style comedy magic act that offers plenty of crowd participation and will have you saying, "How does he do that?" as you laugh at the members of your group who become willing props for his performance. Fremont, Ohio, located in Sandusky County, is the home to our nation's 19th president, Rutherford B. Hayes. Plan a visit to tour his beautiful Victorian home and estate, or take in some presidential and American history at the Rutherford B. Hayes Museum. Still looking for more? We are just a 30-minute drive from the Lake Erie Island Ferries, Cedar Point Amusement Park, Liberty Aviation Museum, and many other Lake Erie favorites. We offer multi-day itinerary creation and can provide plenty of unique and unforgettable experiences for all ages. At the end of your day, retire to a clean and comfortable hotel room with bus-friendly parking. Located near our hotels, there is plenty of chain and local dining and shopping options to choose from. When it's time to move along, our location offers easy access back to 8090 and many other major Ohio interstates. Call us today to start planning your next visit. We look forward to seeing you in Sandusky County.
It's an honor to represent my backyard, Sandusky County. I look forward to meeting with you today and tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Well, thanks again, Peggy and Brenda. We appreciate that. Nice presentation. Well, today's keynote address, we have Meagan Johnson here. She's here to help us make the most of our generations that we are encountering today in her unique presentation, Zap the Gap. Never before have there been so many generations in the workplace at the same time. Never before has there been an opportunity for collaboration or conflict. Meagan's clients have been Comcast, Procter & Gamble, Harley-Davidson, just a multitude of companies. She's been in the Chicago Tribune, CNN Money, U.S. News and World Report. Meagan and her dad, professional speaker Larry Johnson, are co-authors of the best-selling book, Generations, From Boomers to Linksters, Managing the Friction Between Generations at Work. Meagan lives in Phoenix, Arizona, with her 4 dogs that have a total of 15 legs. Meagan says you do the math. So please help me welcome Meagan Johnson.
The millennial generation. Everybody's talking about the millennial generation. These are people born after 1980. I'm just curious, do we have any millennials here? People born oh, look at him out there. It's like a little flash mob. I get to just stand up here and watch them ignore me. I know what they're thinking. She won't notice me texting under the table as long as I maintain eye contact. Somebody from my life in the millennial generation is my cousin Brendan. Brendan is a millennial. He was born after 1980. Brendan recently got a tattoo. Now, I have to say, one of the things I really enjoy about the younger generation is they've brought tattoos into the mainstream. Haven't they? I mean, because when I was a little kid, maybe this happened to some of you, but when I was a little kid and you went somewhere and someone with a tattoo walked in, your mother pulled you close. Because back then, only 2 types of people had tattoos. People that had been in the military, but most importantly, people that had just gotten out of prison. But that's not the case anymore. That's what's so beautiful. We don't even call them tattoos. What do we call them? Body art. Yeah, that's my favorite phrase, body art. Because that's what it is. It's like these little works of art you get to take with you wherever you go. I'm too afraid to get a tattoo, but I love it when other people do it. So when I heard my cousin Brendan was getting a tattoo, I thought, what is he going to get? Because you get to get anything you want, and you better like it. I thought, will he get a dragon from that HBO show, Game of Thrones? I love that show. I never understand what's going on. A rainbow? A unicorn? The hamburger helper hand? Anything. So when I saw Brendan recently, I rushed up to him. I said, Brendan, let's see the tattoo. He rolls up his sleeve. One word he's tattooed on his arm. It reads, Brendan. He tattooed his own name on his arm. I looked at his mother. I said he tattooed his name on his bicep. She said to me he was going to tattoo it upside down so he could read it. Okay, I have got a big favor to ask. I know we don't have a lot of time together, so we're going to move quick. Millennials, will you raise your hands one more time so I can get an idea where all the millennials... Okay, here, I have a huge... Millennials, I need to put you in a little group just for a few minutes. So would you come up here, all the millennials? Let's give them a round of applause. You know they don't want to do it. Excellent. This is great. All right, millennials. Okay, here's what I need from the millennials. If, as a group, would you put together a list of words or phrases that describe interacting and working with the older generations? Now let's define older. Okay? Everybody else. Okay, that's older. Now, don't give me some sugar-coated list. Don't put together this list of, when I got into the tourism industry, I had a mentor, and that mentor took me under her wing. I don't want to hear that. Give me realistic. Give me, like the people that call you because they still haven't figured out the Uber app, all right? So that's what I need from the millennials. Good? Facebook thumbs up? Yes, all right. The rest of you, non-millennials, at your tables, you're going to put together a list of words that describe the younger generation. Now, you're not describing our terrific millennials up here. No. You're describing someone that's a thorn in your side, a burr under your saddle. Could be somebody you work with, could be somebody you live with. I'm gonna give you 1 minute, and then I wanna hear what you all have to say. Go. Everybody do your very best Saturday morning, Saturday night fever imitation, and point to the sky, everybody. Point to the sky. Millennials, point to the sky. And the count of 3, you point to your group spokesperson. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's always somebody. She's channeling John Travolta. She opens her eyes. The entire table is pointing at her. All right, let's start with the millennial group. Who's our spokesperson here? Steven, and you are with?
The Dunwoody CVB in Atlanta, Georgia.
The Dunwoody. CVB in Atlanta, Georgia. How long have you been there at Dunwoody?
Almost 2 years.
2 years, okay. And what have you got on your list that you have on your phone?
Well, first, how many people wrote their list down? Raise your hand. Okay, not as much. So we said tech support was the first.
Okay, technology, yes. They say things like print that email, all right?
Paper RFPs. Traditional.
Okay.
Stubborn.
Ooh, stubborn.
I didn't say
Stubborn. So Stephen has been at Transwoody?
No.
Dunwoody. Stephen, could be. Stephen has been at Dunwoody for 2 years, so he's working away there. And Stephen calls this person over here, and Stephen says, I think if we move this, change this, flip this, turn this, it'll be bigger, it'll be brighter. Our customers are going to love it. What do you think? Wow. Stephen is very excited. Now, this person he called over has been here for a long time. I mean, they have been in the tourism industry before there was any place to go. We just sat at a table and looked at each other. They look at what Stephen's suggesting and they say, what? We tried that before. Oh, no, we tried that before. When did we try this before, says Stephen. I've been here for 2 years. When did we try that? We tried it before you were born. Yeah. Okay, what else is on your list?
Hesitant to change. Wisdom.
Oh, look at that. That's nice. Threw you a bone.
It's called a compliment sandwich.
It's an open-faced sandwich.
Life stories.
Oh, stories. And you're in for a long one when it starts out with, when I was...
Segueing nicely into verbose.
Verbose.
Discriminatory. With stereotypes kind of mixed in there, and then cheap.
Cheap. Cheap. Cheap. Little alligator arms. Alligator arms. All right, give the millennials a round of applause. You guys are welcome to take your seats. Thanks, you guys, so much. Thank you. Thank you. They were terrific. Okay, I want to hear from the rest of you. Shout them out. What have we got about the younger generation? Tell me, what have we got? What was it? Entitled. How many of you had something about entitlement? Oh, look at all the hands. You owe me. They want to know when they're going to get a raise. When am I getting a promotion? I've been here for 2 weeks. Okay, what else? Yes, sir, right over there. Instant gratification. I don't have time to wait. I heard something here. Know-it-all. Of course they know it all. I just graduated. What have you been doing? Okay? They don't answer your phone call. No. How many of you had something about technology? Because that's what technology. They will stand right next to you and text you. All right, what else? What else have we got? Yes. Self-centered, selfies. And now with social media, we see pictures of their selfness. Okay? Yes. They're broke. It's because you all are too cheap. Okay? Yes. No customer service. Oh, yeah. In fact, if they don't like it, they'll just look at them and go, that sucks. No way. No way. All right? Yes. Opinionated. They'll share their opinion with you. Yes. Everything is pre-packaged. Set up ahead of time. You want me to assemble something? You want me to build something? Put something together? Or count out change? No, the register said this is what you get. Okay? Yes.
Surfers.
They're surfers. Now, what do you mean by that? I mean, you mean like surfing on the outside there?
Untethered.
No. Untethered. Yeah, they'll say to you, this is just a job. I mean, this isn't like my career. I mean, I'm not going to be here years from now when I'm old. Like you. All right, good job. Round of applause, both sides. Great job. Now, you heard in my introduction that I speak to groups about generations. I've been doing this since 1998. In 1998, I started speaking about how to work with the younger generation. Because in 1998, I was the younger generation. And then that changed. But I love this topic. And I enjoy it so much because it impacts us not just at work, not just in your business, in tourism and travel, but I like it because it impacts us also at home. However, I have noticed over the past year a lot of brouhaha about the millennials. Everybody's talking about the millennials. And I began asking professionals like yourselves to describe this younger generation to me. And I hear a lot of the same terms and phrases. And so I put them on a slide. Here they are. These are the words that professionals have been telling me over the past year that describe the millennial generation. Bad attitude, entitled, doesn't want to pay their dues, complaining, poor communication skills, gossip, lazy, apathetic, rude, disloyal, wants reward with no effort, and my favorite one's that last one. Oh, they want to have fun. Oh, and they'll tell you if the work's not fun. No way, I don't want to do that. That is not fun. You want me to work at night? No way. I got plans. If you'd read my Twitter feed, you'd know that. As I said, I speak to groups all over. I get the same list of words. Now I have to tell you something about my list. I cheated. I actually got my list out of a magazine. I took my list out of Life magazine, 1968. Baby boomers. How many of you are baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964? Let's see those hands, baby boomers. Oh, baby boomers. Let's review. baby boomers. See, now all the baby boomers are sitting there saying, well, that's all character building stuff up there. That's what that is. That's all character building. How many of you are Generation X? People born between 1965 and 1980. We're the Gen Xers. That's my generation. Yes. Oh, don't sit there so smug. In 1998, Fortune magazine called us the gold collar workers. This wasn't a compliment. Here's a little snippet from the article. It's this last line that sums up Gen X's attitude about work. Work is not work. It is a hobby you happen to get paid for. And that was about Gen Xers in 1998. So let me throw it back to all of you. What's my point? We're all the same. Thank you. Yeah, we use the same negative words to describe every younger generation as it enters the workforce, our businesses, our homes, the marketplace. And what we're really describing is a youthful generation. And the definition of youthful that I use means new. They have a new, different set of experiences than you do. In my book that I co-wrote with my dad, Generations, Inc., we call these experiences generational signposts. And a generational signpost is an event or phenomena that's specific to one generation. Generational signposts influence us when it comes to motivation, but most importantly, generational signposts bond us to one another. We share a unique emotional bond with other people that share our generational signposts. For example, baby boomers. When you were a little kid and your school is going to have a fundraiser, sell candy. How'd you sell that candy, baby boomers? Door to door. Everybody, how do you sell your kids candy today? You buy it all. You wonder why we're entitled, yells the millennial. Yeah. You just look at your kid and say, let's just get it over with, right? I mean, they know your credit card number. So my point being is that many baby boomers, you had a generational signpost that taught you time management skills. You came home from school, you sold the candy, taught you money handling skills. You had to collect the money. Customer service skills. Probably had some interesting people that you sold to. Well, that generational signpost is gone. And that's true of all of us. Young, old, no matter where we fall on the generational timeline, we all have generational signposts that change, evolve, and sometimes completely dissolve. But the conflict occurs, and there is conflict. The conflict occurs is because we have a set of expectations of others. Other people that we work with, other people that we serve, other people that we live with. We have a set of expectations that are in part based upon our generational signposts. A generational signpost that has an emotional connection to us, but no zero-zip emotional connection to someone from a different generation. Every generation is marked by what I call points of no turning back. And what that means is the way we do business, the way we communicate, the way we facilitate our day-to-day lives, it changes. And sometimes it changes so drastically that the way we operated previously becomes obsolete. I was lucky enough to speak to several of you before being up here today, and I talked to you about how your industry has changed. And technology, people talk about, well, you know, drivers have GPS systems now, and we have better technology. So the tools you use to do your job have changed, right? The tool, and your expectation of what you can do in your business has changed because the tools have changed. I was recently at a shopping mall. And you know when you go to a shopping mall, there's that mall directory, gives you an outline of the mall, list of all the stores. There was a 3-year-old girl. She was standing in front of that mall directory sign, and she was taking her finger. She was placing it on the sign, and she was moving her finger across the sign, trying to manipulate and change the images. And when the sign didn't move, she looked at her mother and said, "It's broke. I want to go." But just like your expectations of what you can do within your business has changed because the tools have changed, the expectations of generations change. Because it's not about alienating one generation for the other, right? Because you know in your businesses, we are more successful with diversity. Generational diversity, ethnic diversity, gender diversity. So it's not about alienating one to serve another. It's about how can we cohesively work together. So we're going to take a little journey. We're going to look at each generation, their generational signposts, and what you can do to make each encounter, an encounter in your professional world or your personal world, a successful one. Sound good? All right, if you're one of those digital natives, you like digital, and you would like to receive my monthly e-zine emailed to you, I do not share your email address with anyone, text the word generations to number 44222, 44222. Baby boomers. These are people born between 1946 and 1964. Baby boomers, let's see your hands one more time. Go ahead, wave to each other, baby boomers. This generation is huge. 77 million people were born. As baby boomers reach senior citizenship, the number of senior citizens we have in our country is going to double. That's like taking every single person that lives in California and every single person that lives in the New England states. That's how many senior citizens we're going to have. And they're still going to be driving. So slow. Baby boomers, you're the first generation to ever be graded on a report card, works well and plays well with others. And the ripple effect, the changes we experience in the professional world today is that baby boomers are known as our teamwork generation. Think about the 80s, as baby boomers began to assume management positions. That's when we really started talking about teams. Having a team meeting, elected a team leader, had a group hug, sang Kumbaya. That's baby boomer stuff. In 1964, Time magazine named baby boomers the man of the year. They said baby boomers are going to clean up our cities, end racial discrimination, and find a cure for the common cold. Inside every baby boomer, there's a kid wondering what the heck happened. This guy's just wondering what the heck happened to my pants. Some of you are saying he was on my tour last week. And as we moved into the late 60s and the early 70s, baby boomers really began to challenge and question the rules. And during the late 60s and the early 70s, a lot of baby boomers had pharmaceutical assistants. Some of you had more than others. This is actually a picture of my two favorite baby boomers, my mom and dad. Yeah, that's my dad in the center wearing a flowered blouse. But you know what is so great about this photo is that during my entire adolescence, my mother told me she never smoked. I found this photo. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, oh, that? She said, oh, I was just holding that for somebody else. But baby boomers were successful by challenging the rules. By challenging the rules, we began to see the desegregation of schools. By challenging the rules, the job market began to open up for women. And as the job market began to open up for women, it coincided with the Vietnam War, and the birth rate began to fall. This is where we have Generation X, people born between 1965 and 1980. Gen Xers, where are you? Oh, that was anticlimactic. Wow. Let's just try that again. And the birth rate began to fall. This is where we have Generation X, people born between 1965 and 1980, Gen Xers! Thank you. We're the smallest. We're barely there. We represent 13% of the entire population. 1 in 6 is a Gen Xer. We were lucky to get a name. And Generation X, we are the first generation to have in large numbers both parents working outside the home. So when we came home from school, Mom wasn't there, Dad wasn't there, nobody was there. What do we call them? Maybe remember? Latchkey kids. I was a latchkey kid, and I'll tell you, it was awesome. Who thought this up? I want to shake their hand. I mean, 3 o'clock, you're let out of school, and you are free to go. Your time is your own. You don't have to hurry home. There's nobody waiting for you. We sauntered on home when we felt like it. We let ourselves right in the front door. We let ourselves in the front door because we had our own key. Where'd we keep our key, Gen Xers? A little string around your neck. We'd walk into the house, and there sitting on the kitchen counter was a list of tasks that have been left by management. And here are the rules. It's a simple system. Tasks must be done on time. On time just means when mom and dad are due home at 6 o'clock. So if they're due home at 6 o'clock, when do we start doing those tasks? About 5:45, yeah. But it's up to us to decide. So Generation X has become our most independent generation. And they join you, and their attitude is, hey, just tell me what you want done, give me the tools and training to do it, and then just get out of my way. Cannot forget about our friends, the baby boomers, though. Baby boomers are a teamwork generation. There are baby boomers out there that have meetings to talk about the next meeting. And Generation X, we're the first generation in large numbers to have TV. TV became a signpost for Generation X. Oh, yeah. Baby boomers always get so defiant when I start talking about TV. I can see all the little baby boomer faces. Well, we had TV. Yeah, sure you did. Baby boomers, how many of you remember the first color TV in your neighborhood? First color TV neighborhood. Look at the hands. Wow. If you didn't have a color TV, what kind of TV did you have? Black and white. I will tell you that when I was a little kid, my dad told me about the black and white TV. I thought to myself, black and white? How do they get the color out? And why would you want to do that? How many TVs did you have growing up, baby boomers? One, it was huge. Sat there in the middle of the living room, gathered around it, watched all 4 channels. Oh, I'm sorry, 3. What happened if you wanted to change the channel? What'd you have to do? You had to get up, and then you have to walk to the TV. But the knob that turned the channel, that knob had fallen off months ago. Just a pair of pliers stuck there now. Oh, what, you want better reception? Oh, let me fiddle with this rabbit ears. Yeah, the rabbit ears are long gone and have been replaced with a coat hanger that is wrapped in aluminum foil. High tech all the way. And after 1980, the birth rate started to climb. This is when we have the millennial generation. Millennials, would you raise your hands again? Let's give the millennials a round of applause. Millennials. Millennials. Okay, I'm going to jump back. Total number of baby boomers. What was that number? You remember the number of 77 million. Are you ready for the total number of millennials? 80 million. 80 million. They've surpassed the baby boomers. In 5 short years, they're going to be 40% of the workforce. In 10 years, 75% of the global workforce. 90% of millennials report being close to their parents. Average age the millennial now leaves their parents' home is 26 years old. Compare that to 1974, 40% of baby boomers said they'd be better off without their parents. 59% of millennials have never been married. 36% live in multi-adult households. They have a spending power of $200 billion a year, yet they still live with their parents. Nearly 80% want to work for a company that cares about their environmental impact. And I love this last statistic because it flies in the face that we think all they want to do is communicate digitally. 78% are more likely to get involved with a brand if they've had face-to-face interaction with it. USA Today had a great article recently. They interviewed college professors. And in this study, college professors were dumbfounded because their students that are about to graduate college were turning in papers filled with instant message language. Okay, we all know what that is, using numbers and letters, substituting, shortening names. And in the same study, when they went back and interviewed the students were just as mystified because they weren't even aware they were using the instant message language. I thought, wow, yeah. I thought to myself, even the way we write to each other has changed. So for example, if somebody from the traditional generation, and the traditional generation are people born before 1945. Do we have traditional people? Anybody think we do? Let's give the traditional generation a round of applause. Traditional generation. You know what my favorite name for this generation is? One coined by Tom Brokaw, the greatest generation. That is my favorite name for this generation, the greatest generation. But if someone from the traditional generation was going to write a letter to Tom Smith, how would someone from the traditional generation start a letter to Tom Smith? Dear Mr. Smith, or Dear Sir, yeah, okay. How would somebody from the baby boom generation start a letter to Tom Smith? Dear Tom, yeah. How would the Gen Xer start the letter to Tom Smith? Hey, you. Come on, Gen Xers. How would we start that letter to Tom Smith? Tom, thank you, Gen Xers. How would that millennial start the letter to Tom Smith? Hey, dude, yo, what's up? Thank you very much. You don't get a letter. There is no letter. Who said it? Who said that it? Yes, you know what? Tell me your name. Amy, I have a copy of my book, Generations Inc. for you right here. All right. Yeah, no. They're not going to send you a letter. They're going to send you a what? A text, and the text will say, I'm too hot for you. And now they don't even send you a text of letters and numbers. They send you a text full of what? Emojis. Get it? I'm too hot for you. That's a little you there at the end. What's my point? My point is that sometimes we discount the ideas this amazing younger generation is bringing into your business. We discount their ideas because their ideas stem from a skill set that is different than the skill set we had at that age. Hey, just because it worked before doesn't mean it's going to work this time. All right, so just because it's the way you've always done it doesn't necessarily mean it's got to be the way you do it today. And maybe the way you've done it has worked. But you've got a younger generation that wants to move it, change it, flip it, turn it, make it bigger, make it brighter, make it faster, rather than saying no, which I think that's our instinct. When someone young comes along, especially someone, you know, they come on board, they've been around for 2 weeks, and now they're telling you, you know, the owner, the CEO, what you are doing wrong. You think to yourself, who are you to tell me what I'm doing wrong? This works. I think our instinct is to say no, especially if, you know, our feeling is if it ain't broke, what? Don't fix it. But think about it. If Steve Jobs, you know, of Apple computers, when the team came to him and said, hey, we have an idea for a new phone. It's going to be a rectangle in shape with a glass front and people will touch it and swipe it. What if Steve Jobs said, you know what, the flip phone works fine. We don't need a new phone. We're not in the phone business. All right. So you got a young person wants to move it, change it, flip it, turn it. Rather than saying no, ask yourself these 4 questions. Whatever they're suggesting, whatever they want to try, does it negatively impact cost, quality, safety, or service? Does it negatively impact cost, quality, or safety, or service? If the answer is no to all 4, that's your little red flag to say, all right, let's try this idea. Worst case scenario, no change in business. Best case scenario, you have the tourism industry idea of the iPhone, okay? You challenge the old ways of doing things. I was in the car with my father. A song came on the radio called Love the One You're With. You heard this song, Stephen Stills? Yeah, it's a great song. I told my dad, I said, turn it up. I love this song. He said to me, well, what do you like about it? I said to my dad, I like the message it sends. He said, well, what do you think the message is? I said to my dad, well, the line in the song, if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. I said, what that means is if the one that you love dumps you, which could happen, gotta love the one you're with. And the one you're with is yourself. You have to love yourself first. I told my dad it is clearly a song about self-empowerment. He said, that's not what the song means. And after he told me what the song meant, I said, that's disgusting. Because it really doesn't matter how old you are. There's certain things you never want to hear your mom or dad say. I said, here's the difference, Dad. You had that corny slogan, free love. Oh, spare me. I grew up in the 80s. There was no such thing as a free lunch, much less free love. But this generation, the millennials, they don't even need to see you to communicate. And for the first time in history, we have a younger generation that knows more about something we need to know. We'll bring a brand new computer home. We'll call our kids over. We'll point to the computer. We'll ask our kids, okay, how do you install the parental controls? They've got the answers. 90% of the millennial generation checks their phones, text, and social media before getting out of bed, and 65% spend as much time, if not more, with their friends online versus in person. This answers the question people ask, why are they always on their phone? They're always on their phone because the phone has enabled the millennial generation to successfully blend their work life and their personal life. They see no lines between communicating with a customer on one hand and then moving over and making happy hour plans via Open Table with their friends on this hand. It goes back and forth. All right? They are the highest users of social media. 84% of millennials use social media compared to 66% of Gen Xers, 44% of baby boomers. My dad, he is a baby boomer. He's on Facebook. He unfriended me. He really did. Claims it was an accident. And if you're on Facebook, please come find me. I'm Meagan Johnson, generational humorist. My Twitter handle is Meagan S. Johnson. But here's the generational difference when it comes to social media. Let's just take Facebook, for example. You know what Facebook's good for? Facebook is a great way to go look at the people you dated in high school and make sure they're not doing as well as you are, okay? But for the millennial generation, social media is not a toy, it is a tool. By year 2020, 60% of the millennial generation believes social media literacy required of all employees, and 33% rank social media freedom more important than salary. If you have not already, ask your talented millennials to reverse mentor you when it comes to social media. Because as they move forward in their careers, as they move forward in their decisions, social media will be part of that communication tool. And your website, yes, your website is a wonderful location, especially for attracting employees, because what millennials will do, they'll go to your website, and hopefully you're listing job opportunities on your website, but they're gonna go to your Facebook page to look at your company's personality. And that's where you want your personality to show. It's kind of like a mullet, right? Business in the front, party in the back, okay? So you got your website up front, shows you all the information about your company, but then they want to see the personality on your social media. All right, we got 2 minutes left. Last thing, we are always more successful dealing with the multiple generations when we have fun. I actually had an audience member say to me once, Meagan, if work was supposed to be fun, we'd call it fun, not work. We spend 90% of our waking hours at work, and some of our sleeping hours. We should have fun. I spoke for a group, and I just thought this was a brilliant idea. In their break room, they had a cork board, and that cork board was covered with pictures and mementos of one employee. Obviously, things he brought from home. And when I asked the manager about it, he explained to me that once a month, they give the board over to an employee, and that employee can put whatever they want on the board, as long as it represents their personality. He said, I want them to bring their personality into the workplace. Now, when I came to speak for them, they said, Meagan, would you like to put anything on the board while you are here? And you heard in my introduction that I have 4 dogs that have a total of 15 legs. Those of you that are good at math have figured out I have a 3-legged dog. When you have a 3-legged dog and you take your 3-legged dog into public, you get 1 or 2 reactions. One reaction you get is the excited person. There are people that are excited. My dog only has 3 legs. I don't know why, but this is what they do. Your dog only has 3 legs. Bless your heart. Now, the opposite reaction is the angry person. There are people angry at me, my dog only has 3 legs. I don't understand this either. Why are they angry? But the angry person gets right in your face. Angry person says, hey, what happened to your dog? I used to be intimidated by the angry person, till one day I said, that's a good question. I said, because she started out with 4 legs. I said, but I found out she was a digger. and I had to teach her a lesson. Oh, angry person doesn't talk to me anymore. Here's the picture I put up on the board. I love that picture. She actually was a stray before I owned her that got hit by a car. I showed that picture to the Association of Funeral Directors. Those are people that work with dead people. They said that dog needs help. It's that emotional connection we have with our generational signposts. That's how we take multiple generations and work and live and travel successfully as one. Happy Halloween, everybody. Have a terrific weekend. Thank you. I hope you had as much fun as I did.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, Meagan, thank you so much for being so insightful. We all deal with this every day at work and generations, so I think it gives us a little different perspective of what we have to deal with. So thanks. Let's give Meagan another round of applause, please.